Comedy Cellar Nightly. We got a full show tonight. I'm playing a little music that I like, but I'm playing it for my friend Wil. Wil Sylvince is in the house.
Yo, what's up?
Come on, Wil. What's up?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Good to see you, buddy. Matthew Broussard is here.
What's up, Matt? What's up, Hasan?
Hasan, and the owner of the Comedy Cellar, who kind of put this all together. And I do have to give some props to because he put this together, and he also put another room together that's going live, I believe, Monday, where it's going to be a room like this where comics can go in at any time and just kind of hang out, like a hangout. It's not going to be recorded. It's not going to be out there, but it'll be where we can go and talk to each other and kind of see each other during this. Oh,
that's a dope ass idea.
Yeah,
that's like the Olive Tree way just open. You could just walk in and hang out upstairs and chill out and yabba dabba do.
Yeah, that was the idea.
I don't know what the last part meant, but yeah, I think that was the idea. Yabba dabba do. What?
Will you hit the Olive daylight hours?
Say what?
You hit the Olive Tree during daylight hours?
Sometimes, like at the boxing, I go there, like, get breakfast or get like a drink or two.
No, how do you feel about us using the Olive Tree like our WeWork?
Oh, dude, that's exactly what it is.
I love it. Wait, finish introducing everybody, Robert. You didn't finish introducing.
I did. I introduced everybody.
No, you didn't, jackass.
Yeah, you didn't.
Who's here? Who else is here?
Rosebud. Are you
Where is Rosebud? We can't see her. How am I supposed to see her?
We all
see her now. You got to arrow over.
Put your camera on, you jackass.
Robert, we all
see her.
There
Andy,
she is.
How do I put my camera on? Oh,
no, it's on now. Don't get mad at me. I didn't see her. I didn't see her. Hi, Rosebud.
Did
you owe him an apology.
Yeah, you owe me an apology, Noam.
I won't.
Uh-oh, that's LA internet right there.
Are you saying I owe an apology?
That's Airbnb internet right there.
Can you? Well, I know. Can you turn off your thing?
Ooh,
yeah, turn off your flip phone, Andy.
Yeah.
All right. So
Andy's
what's up?
been.
And you introduced Matt?
I introduced everybody, Noam. I did it all. Can you stop being in charge for 5 seconds? Just let it go. You're in a basement. You're in quarantine. You're on a level playing field, just like the rest of us. You're making no money too, okay?
I swear to God, whenever you start in on me like that, I feel sorry for your wife. I just think about like what it must be like to be like the way you just turn everything around.
Well, I was talking to Hasan about this before, is that there's a lot of this, the way I am is a Boston thing. Like Dawn is the same way. Today, I was on the phone with somebody and I was telling them to watch this show on Netflix called Gomorrah, right? But I was saying it like Gomorrah. I was like, well, it's a great show, Gomorrah. And she goes, are you saying Gomorrah like you're from Italy? And I was like, am I saying? She goes, you make me sick. Because I was assimilating to the show because I just watched like 5 episodes. So I feel like somehow I knew Italian, like through an accent. So she's the same way. I think it's a Boston thing. My tone is off a little bit. That's all.
Or maybe it's not a Boston thing, it's a Robert Kelly thing, and you bled onto her, and now she's an asshole like you.
Do you just call my wife an asshole, you cocksucker? Because I'll hit you with a shovel.
Will, you're heading into uncharted territory, bro.
Yeah. We were actually talking before we started about this, and this has come up before, but it was kind of interesting. Me and Hasan were talking about the cancel culture, and would the Comedy Cellar table, the way it was, is it going to exist now? Is it going to die now? Or is it going to become stronger the way we comics are around each other?
I think that table just progressed. Like whatever time zone it put the comics and the way they think and the way they master their jokes and just progress with the time. So, you know, that makes sense.
But Will, do you think that of comics now we're too soft?
I think everybody just like tippy-toeing sometimes. Some comics are tippy-toeing, trying to figure out, you know, the water's too shallow, too deep. So they watching. But I mean, some comics should not be watching. Nobody's gonna. You ain't got nothing to get canceled.
Why? Looking?
Because everyone's canceled already. Nobody's got any gigs. We're done.
It's deeply profound. Wow.
Well, I think that too, I think that money is a big part of all this thing. People think that, you know, comics have changed, but comics changed because there's money involved. Comedy back when we were doing, back when I first came to New York, nobody was doing the Garden. That wasn't an option. Now I know 10 comics that have done the Garden. It's like we're the new rock stars. Comedy hours are the new videos on MTV. There's
The
a
Olive
lot of
Garden.
money to be made, and when there's money, you have to abide by the rules. You can't be offending people. You can't be saying certain things. So if you want to be that comic, you're not going to be that big. You're never going to be in the Garden. Maybe once in a while, someone will come out, but look at the guys who play the Garden. They're pretty much clean cut, kind of funny down the middle, you know, except for Louis, but of course he's gone.
What about Louis, Burr, Amy, Aziz?
Sebastian.
Yeah, but Sebastian and Aziz are not.
Could Rogan do Garden?
I think Rogan did it once, yeah.
I mean, that's a guy who doesn't really seem to censor himself.
Well, that's a guy who went and found his own fan base, which I think the industry hates because he did it because it's like, I don't fucking need you.
I think that's the only way through industry is around it. I think that's the only way anyone ever really succeeds.
I think so. I think you're right.
So I don't think he's the exception. I think that's the way you do that a lot. I mean, there are people who just follow all the steps and get in movies, but I think a lot of the big names you're talking about built their own fan base kind of organically their own way.
I think that is the way to do it, but not everybody can do that. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people with podcasts that, you know, even
just started one.
I think Bill Burr's first episode of his podcast was me setting up his podcast, telling him, dude, you need a podcast, dude. I should have got 10%. Fuck.
He's killing it now with his podcast.
You think?
Yeah.
So what about Hasan? You must have to worry about being.
Wait. No, you said Hasan or Hassan?
No, let him say it that way. I like it.
Hasan.
Can I try?
No, you know what? We used to have
way.
a guy. We used to work for us, and everybody's called him Hasan. What about Hassan?
Wait,
is it because you're Jewish and can't say an Arab name?
No,
It
bro.
catches in my throat. It's kind of like you saying a lot of words.
Bro, Jewish people love Indian.
Hassan,
What's up?
you're famous now. Are you worried about saying the wrong thing?
Yes,
I
he
think
is.
Bobby said it the perfect way. He was describing different types of gigs. He was describing doing college gigs with Tracy Morgan, right? And they were like, sign this contract right now. It has to be a clean show. And you'd sign that contract and you would have to have a clean act. That's kind of what I've had to navigate to, depending on the gig. You know what I mean? Like there's just certain decorum when you're in certain rooms doing certain shows, and you can switch it up. If I'm doing the midnight show at the Cellar, that has a different energy than the 8 o'clock show, that has a different energy than the Correspondence Dinner, that has a different energy from the NBA awards. Each of them have certain sacred cows where you're not supposed to cross that line.
But
I mean, when we did the college shows, like the NACA shows, some comics, they wanted all those college gigs, and they had to be super clean. You all did NACA before.
Yeah.
I still do those, yeah.
Yeah, I did NACA. I remember the last NACA I did, though. I went up, everybody was bombing. It was a Northeast regional. I think there was around 50 schools there. Yeah. Everybody's bombing. I went up to my agent at the last minute. I go, I'm doing my sturdy. I'm being me. If one school wants me, then that's a school that wants me. I can't go fucking bomb right now with clean something that's not me. And he was pissed. He was like, whatever. We actually got in a fight about it. I went out. I murdered. I got 49 out of 50 schools. I was like, I was on the NACA magazine that year because of it. So every once in a while, when it's a choice you make, whether you go this way or that way.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's a moral choice. I mean, maybe it is, but it's like, I feel like just doing this. I don't care. I'm not going to get these schools. I know it, but I can't be that right now.
Robert, can you remember the dirtiest or the edgiest joke you said that evening?
It was edgy. Here's the thing. Edgy for college is not edgy for clubs.
Right.
So I've never been disgusting, but I was never clean enough for TV. You know what I mean? Like the Tonight Show and stuff like that. Like when I did the Tonight Show, I had to do that set 38 times and cut so much shit out of it. Lenny Marcus watched it and was like, you got to stop. You can't say that. You can't do this. Try this. And it was weird. But one thing that helped me with that is when I do morning radio, I always kill, and you can't swear and you can't be dirty and you can't do all those things. But I conveyed all the same stuff. And I was like, oh, it's a mental thing. It's just a switch in your head. And you have to think about what you're going to say and how you have to say it, I think. And that's why I love that, like when comics do other things, like when a dirty comic does stand up clean, I love that because you're allowing him to kind of create in a different way, you know?
You guys remember when Martin got banned on SNL? Or Martin Lawrence?
No.
What?
He did his monologue, but I guess he was not getting the laughs he wanted, and he went freaking rogue, and he got banned from NBC. It was a huge thing. Same thing with Bobby when it's like the choice you make. You know what? I'd rather go for the last than to try to be clean and please.
And that could have went in his favor, though. He could have. Yeah. He could. I don't know. That might have went in his favor. That's the thing.
But that's to me, that's the thing of comedy. You got to figure out when it's going to be a surgical strike and when you're going to napalm the room. Also, you got to look, man. Like you got to also know your voice. The longer you're doing it, I'm not great at being dirty. Like it's just not.
I was gonna say, Hasan, you're not that type though.
Yeah, it just comes off as weird.
But so what would be edgy for Hasan Minhaj?
Noam, you've done this. Remember when I was prepping for the correspondence dinner? It was certain jokes I was pushing there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was coming off for me. That was more in my bag, in my wheelhouse than say like going blue. So the Nazi Steve Bannon joke, those certain things where you're pushing certain
good joke
topics. That played in my wheelhouse. There have been times where I've tried to do like blue, dark. It just doesn't go well. People are like, you look like.
I would find it hilarious if I saw you go on stage one night and you were like, listen, man, I was fucking the other night and and my dick slipped out. I would hit the floor.
Yeah.
I understand that it's not you, but I would hit the fucking floor.
But Hasan, you're kind of lucky because I don't know if lucky is the word, but because the things that you naturally rail against are not the kind of things that'll get you canceled. Like you come from a liberal perspective, so you're gonna call Steve Bannon a Nazi, and
right.
The people who are offended by that, and there's a lot of people who might be offended by that, they're not the type of people who are gonna get you canceled.
I didn't call him that. I said I couldn't see him in the room.
Yeah.
You could not see. Yeah. I think that's an interesting thing.
I said I
remember the joke said, how come I not see Steve Bannon? Not see Steve Bannon.
I don't see him. If someone could find him, let me know.
Well, like Robert wants to make jokes about women. Robert wants to make jokes about women barefoot in the kitchen and blah blah blah. And people
that's not what see. This is when Noam. This is why Noam is the owner and doesn't. I know he doesn't have to worry about money because he'll literally just take somebody's career away in a second.
Wait, what's barefooting a woman?
He's joking. He's talking about
barefooting a woman.
What is your favorite take in comedy? You personally.
What do you like?
For you, you've been around comedy so long. Do you have a particular taste? Like if comedy were like different shelves of liquor, is there a particular type that you like?
No, I think I enjoy
Mad Dog 2020.
Yeah.
I think I enjoy the people who are the best at whatever genre it is. I like if I think of like a I like a Greer Barnes or a Gary Goldman. I enjoy them both equally, even though they're clearly coming from a different place in comedy. I don't like the mediocre stuff so much, wherever it's coming from. But the only thing I really don't like is I actually really don't like really vulgar comedy, unless it's really, really funny. And I actually, you might be surprised, I actually don't like some over the top racial imitations. I don't like that.
Wait, no. My better question for me is, what comic you wanted to cancel or have canceled? You probably can't say you canceled, but that you didn't want to work the Cellar or couldn't because they offended you. Like, what offends you?
I don't care. I would never not use somebody if they offended me.
So people have
Seth Simons has a chance of getting booked at the Cellar.
If he kills, yeah.
No.
Yeah. I tried to get Gary Branham to, is that his name? Guy Branham. Guy Branham to work in the Cellar after he wrote that terrible article about it. He wouldn't do it, but I was ready. I tried to get him on our TV show because he does political humor, and he refused to do it. But I didn't care that he said that.
Did Rosebud change outfits?
I put a hat on.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was like, why do you look different? I was like, do you have a wardrobe change in the middle of this?
I put a hat on. It's getting cold here. I don't even, you guys are talking about comedy. I don't even remember what it feels like. I've been in LA for so long. It feels like I haven't done comedy in so long that it's like a distant memory. That's what it feels like.
How did Wil Sylvince give you his hat if you're in California?
Well, it's gonna be another 6. I think this
He's here.
This is gonna last about 3-4 months.
Thanks, Will. Appreciate
Will,
it.
if you ran the Comedy Cellar, who would you cancel?
I wouldn't cancel anybody, even the racist comics. I feel like comedy is the freedom of speech should be allowed, and you come there for comedy. Obviously, not everybody's gonna be your favorite. So a comedy club like the Cellar, there's gonna be a variety of comics. A few you may like, a few may not like. A comedy club like Caroline's is a headliner club, so obviously you go see who you like, and you don't go see who you don't like. So I wouldn't necessarily, as long as they're funny. I don't really.
Do you think, Will,
the funny racist comics?
You think, you think there's funny racist comics working the Cellar right now?
Yeah, Robert Kelly.
Hilarious.
I don't even talk about race ever.
What?
I don't. What do I say?
Robert, are you freaking lying?
I've never said nothing about you people.
I will tell you this, honestly, I don't know whether it's racist or not, but there's a new thing now where some comics come very hard on white people, like on just white people.
No.
Well, that's because it's like the only, it's the only.
On the white people. No, and I got to tell you, sometimes it does bother me, not because I'm offended because I'm white, but because I'll tell you why. Because sometimes I feel like what I'm hearing is really basically just resentment.
Oh Jesus!
Kind of delivered without a punchline.
Guys, we can dance. It's
Mike,
not us
Mike, mute Noam. Mute Noam.
I didn't say Hasan's name.
I'm trying to save the Cellar.
Freedom of speech.
Did I say something wrong?
No,
you said everything right, but you're not supposed to say it.
About this.
You see that live button? It says recording. Listen, shush. We saved that talk.
Okay, but hold on. Seriously, if what I said is wrong, I'm being very serious now. What about what I said would offend somebody?
You're offending all white men.
What?
No, I don't think you.
I don't think you heard him. I don't think you.
His reaction was amazing.
I don't think you heard him, my friend.
I'm not joking. I said joke, dummies. Dummies.
Okay.
No. Can I ask you a question? What do you think the over/under is when we can get back to quote unquote normal? I miss it.
Back to normal.
Yes, back to normal. When is the labor force going to enter back into society? You as a business owner, how are you going to welcome labor force back into your establishment?
Well, I think that we should be able to open again.
Optimistically and then pessimistically, over/under.
Well, I don't have an optimistic look, but I guess optimistically or trying to be realistic, I think we'll open again in 3 months.
Jesus, what?
Optimistic, I guess, would be 2 months. And I think that it could be either people will be so pent up that they'll immediately just pour out into the clubs. And if they don't, you know, if we're expecting a second wave of this, depending on if there's therapies developed or whatever it is, it could be a year before we get back to normal, I think.
Oh,
I mean, it may not be. People, like,
I think
because,
it's gonna be 4 months minimum.
okay, that's not ridiculous.
With no vaccine, there's no vaccine. So it's like you keep everybody locked up. The virus goes away. As soon as one person comes out, they get the virus.
You can't keep New York City shut down for 4 months.
Okay, well then go outside then, Robert. Go outside.
No, here it is, Will. There's a lot of moving parts. So I read today they're coming up with a test which is going to give you an instant result in a doctor's office. Doesn't even need to go to a lab.
Right.
How much that's gonna cost?
So
Free.
Once everybody is tested, and if they have some therapy, so once they knock the risk down to close to the flu for people under 40, let's say, then I imagine everybody under 40 will just start coming out and we can get back pretty close to normal.
Yeah.
But if that's not the case.
But hold on, but Trump just said that everybody's not gonna get tested. He just said that.
No, he doesn't have the.
well, it doesn't.
I don't know what he meant by that, but sooner or later, the doctors are all the doctors will have tests for you. Urgent care will have tests. And at that point, it will be different, but nobody knows. Like if there's no therapy, if it turns out 3 months from now that we find out the mortality rate is closer to 2% than 0.5%, yeah, people are not going to go out with a 2% chance of dying.
Fuck.
I don't think it's, I think that in the next couple months, New York City is going to open up. You can't shut the country down, especially gigs around the country. If you're a comic, you're going to be able to go to other towns that are opened up that didn't have a problem like the coast.
Yeah, but then what about somebody that has a virus and goes to those towns?
What do you mean? But that's what I'm saying. If I'm tested, and I found out that I had it, or I don't have it anymore and I'm immune to it, I can go. I had it.
Yeah, but they saying that if you had it, you could still carry it and pass it off. So you just because you don't.
Well, they actually don't know that, Will. They don't know that.
I don't know if that's true, Will.
They're figuring that out right now. They don't actually know that. They don't know how long somebody can carry it after like the symptoms have passed. From what they understand right now, it seems like the healthier you are, the longer it can stick with you, the longer it can stay in your body. So it's like there's a guy in Singapore right now that's been in the hospital testing positively for 27 consecutive days in a row. He's got 0 symptoms and they won't let him out of the hospital until he tests negative twice in a row. He's like 35.
So that's what
he's got to eat a hamburger and stop running.
And he smokes. So he's like, yeah.
I'll tell you this.
Which is why I'm still vaping.
You won't be seeing me there for at least a year. And I don't know if I'm going to let Esty come back.
What do you mean?
What?
It's gonna let what?
I'm being meaning like
she can do her job from the house.
Yeah, like I'm getting up there, and I really don't want to get this. I don't want to test my luck, so I don't think I'm gonna come down, and I don't know what I'm gonna do. And Esty, Esty's really high risk at that, and I don't want her coming down there. Like it's got to be safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the right thing to do. But you see, but it's like,
man, no, when you say a year, that's so palpable.
Yeah, it really fucking rocked my world.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And
Well,
here's the thing is that there will be a club that opens, by the way.
I made arrangements for Ray Allen to take over while I'm gone. So don't worry, everybody. It'll be the same.
Well, listen, welcome to the Comedy Cellar by Ray.
They hand you a lei as you walk in the door.
I'm also, I do an Aruba show. If you like, we have no Corona in Aruba.
I know you can do right, dude.
Hey, Noam, have you thought about this though? Is that another club is going to open up as soon as they can and go full force? Are you gonna, as soon as Cuomo says you can open, are you opening?
Probably.
Because there's going to be another club that is, and they're going to seize the opportunity. There is opportunity for businesses right now to, and for comedians too, even on this Zoom thing, everybody has a podcast. Everybody's trying to create some type of TV show, something for people to grab hold of right now during this time. Right. And
Yeah.
a comedy club is going to do the same thing. As soon as it's ready, they're going to pounce and try to take, be the #1 club out there.
I think I'll open because I mean, it's Cuomo. It's not Trump. You got to feel.
What'd you call me?
Cuomo. If Cuomo says it's okay to open, I would have to believe, unless I hear otherwise, that the best medical minds have decided that this is safe or I don't know. Like I just don't want to be responsible for anybody dying. And I have a friend who is a doctor at Yale, and he keeps telling me that yes, there's a low risk, but still he's seeing young people just drop dead, and nobody can get a handle on quite why. And I'll tell you something else, just because it's related, it's interesting. There's all this talk about the ventilators, and I did a lot of research about it. And then I asked some doctors, even if we had all the ventilators we could ever want, the odds, once you're put on a ventilator, your odds of dying are still way more than 50%. It's like they talk so much about it with like these ventilators will prevent people from dying. They don't. The ventilators are a last resort. So yeah,
Well,
if you can save 20% of them, that's certainly significant. But don't think like if we had ventilators, like you're safe now. You're not.
And I'd like
you
to
hear that Trump is-
welcome everybody to Happy Talk here at Comedy Nightly, where you can come each night and hear this fun, happy conversation.
Let the broad talk, Robert.
Jesus.
Jesus Christ, no.
What the hell? No.
I was channeling Robert.
No, he was talking about me. He calls me that.
You keep interrupting her. Go ahead.
I heard today that Trump is gonna shut down New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. Is that right?
I read the headline. I didn't read the story.
Yes.
Is that something that he just said, or is that something that like they're
What do you
doing?
mean cut down? Cut down? What do you mean cut down?
No, shut down.
Oh, shut down.
Yeah. Like he's chopping New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut off from the United States.
I don't know. You said cut down. I don't know what cut down.
Will, I love you so much, Will.
Well, I understand the logic. I mean, if you got 47 other states which are shut down because these 3 states have a different situation and the economy is grinding to a halt. I mean, I could see that.
Fuck.
Hasan,
I gotta get out of LA.
Hassan, can I ask you a question?
What's
now
up?
that you're home all the time now, way more than you used to, right?
I'm going crazy.
Okay, there you go. So it's
Bro, I'm still reeling after Noam was like, I'm not coming back for a year. Because Noam is a capitalist. Number one, you are a capitalist. And number two, so if you're telling me this means it's a very serious thing.
When you said capitalist, I heard Jew.
No.
I think we all did. But go ahead.
I'm a politician.
I said you would run one of the finest establishments in the greater New York area. I didn't say that has nothing to do with your religion or creed or class.
No, but just to be clear, I would be afraid to come back, but I might, if it's like a young people are back out, I might open the club. Liz, I know where Liz is. She has asthma and she refuses to modify her behavior in any way, but that worries me too.
What Liz on medication? What she doing? What would she do that for? Tell her to stay at home.
She's fearless.
I think if Liz stops working, she'll die. It's like the movie Speed or Crank.
Yeah.
You're right. There is something to that.
I'm in Florida. Can I tell you how the rest of the country is living?
Yeah, what's going on in Florida?
Fort Myers, Florida, which is the West Coast. Not much is shut down. Restaurants are still open. People are still out and about. It's quieter, but people aren't very afraid, at least in their actions. I went to a cat breeder today. My girlfriend and
So
I.
you know what that mean?
What does that mean? I can't say the number. We're gonna keep going up.
Yep.
Yeah. The numbers are scary. We went to go check out a cat breeder today. It's the first people we've contacted. We went to buy a cat during all this. We went to this guy's place. He lives out in nowhere. He walks out. He's got 18. Nice house. He's dressed like he owns a boat, but he's got 8 teeth. And he walks out. He goes, "Hi, welcome." And he sticks his hand out to shake mine. I go, And he was like, "Oh yeah, that whole farce."
Farce. Whoa.
Farce. He did not believe it. Next thing he was like, 135 people die of opioid epidemic every day. Where's their $2 trillion?
I mean, he's got a point.
Yeah.
Yeah, but opioids is a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, heroin's a
Heroin
choice.
is something you choose to do every day.
So,
Yeah.
so every day I get
The
on my
first one's a choice. After that, it's not.
every day when I wake up in the
first one, that's
morning.
what I meant.
Really, sadly true.
Every day when I wake up in the morning, I have like 4 or 5 WhatsApp messages from Will, and they're all like various conspiracy theory videos.
But we got to shut down WhatsApp. WhatsApp's a huge problem. We got to
I think we have to stop Will.
I hate
think
that
that's it.
fucking.
I think it's
Will.
Will.
What's your which conspiracy theory?
It's not conspiracy. No, I'm okay. No, you tell me the conspiracy I sent you. Go ahead.
I don't remember them, but I
So you just send me
He's
4
not
or 5
reading them.
every day, which is a lie.
there
Number
was
one.
something about the country's experimenting on black people with syphilis without their knowledge or something ridiculous like that.
That's true, Noam. That
That
one's
was true.
I
That's
know it's true. It's a joke. But what I understand that some conspiracies can be true, but I don't think the coronavirus is a conspiracy.
I didn't say that was a conspiracy. I never said that.
What do you say? What'd you say?
I said that this gonna last a long time because nobody outside New York City or New Jersey is listening to the words. So just like what Matthew just said, is just like the rest of America think it's still a party. Like what y'all talking about? What virus?
All right, I gotta go. I'll check my WhatsApp.
Yeah,
you're dissembling now.
dissembling.
Alexa, what does dissembling mean?
It's the opposite of what the Avengers do. Avengers assemble.
Did she answer?
Yeah, she did, but Will talked over it.
What'd she say?
And Will's made more sense.
Will talk, it just came out in wingdings.
But I was interested. I know we're gonna keep going back to the corona, but it does make me happy when I see family guys and family girls, like there's comics that are, kind of, it's just you and your boyfriend or but the guys or the girls who have kids and a wife or a husband and having to be home every single day, all day long. And then when you have to, hey, can you go fix that? And can you, all this stuff that now you have no escape from. There's no going away on Thursday, checking into your hotel, pretending you're tired, pretending, I got to do radio. I got to do, today's crowd was fucking tough. I'm tired. All that.
You don't have any lies to lean on.
Yeah. It's like, I would love to be in a hotel room. I'd love to. We're getting room service, doing 2 hours of work a day, and pretending like it's strenuous.
But now comics who complain about traveling and I hate going on the road, and now they're home all day. It's like, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, you know what? Hasan.
What's up?
Do you see yourself in having a career at a TV show and doing shows around the country as being less of a capitalist than me owning a comedy club?
Hey, look, man, as a child of immigrants, I'm so happy to be here. I live in the empire and I love being a capitalist. I'm with you, brother.
All right.
I have no problem. You know who cuts my checks. I have no problem.
I heard Jew again.
Because there is something to that, not with Hasan, but like when people rail against wealth and they get mad at the top, not me, but like the top 0.1%. For some reason,
Bernie lost.
Hold on. For some reason, it bothers them more that somebody risked everything, started a business, built it up, and made $100 million than somebody got $100 million to act in a movie.
You mean, wait a minute, can I just stop you?
Is at the person, the capitalist,
No. I think
the movie actor.
No,
can I just
rephrase? That's not what it is.
Why do you talk over Rosebud? Go ahead.
Listen, first of all, I didn't talk over Rosebud. I'm talking over you. And stop saying that, you piece of shit. I'll click this fucking thing off in 2 seconds, you rich cocksucker. And your father worked hard and gave everything to you. So don't act like you did it. You were next door at the Waggle.
That's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say the same thing as Bobby.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. It's all about, it's not
Your
the
father
anger isn't about building the business. It's about intergenerational wealth and so they get pissed at you for getting handed something that then you didn't have to work for. It's
He
not that
hated
anybody's
comedy.
getting mad at you.
He hated comedy. He hated us. He liked music and musicians and getting laid and Prince.
He
Robert,
still hates you, Bobby.
Let me answer.
Father loved comedians.
Let me answer.
Is that true, no? Is that true?
I'll ask you. I'll answer the whole thing. First of all, I never actually hated Robert till right this second. But the truth, I wasn't bringing about myself. I'm talking about
No. You see how easygoing I am?
You're the best, Hasan.
You need these edgy Boston comments. You don't need
You
that.
still have a job, Hasan.
You don't.
Easy
We're
going.
not. We're
Hasan, you're the best. But I want to answer something. I wasn't talking about me. I was talking about people rail against like what's his name? The guy who started Starbucks. There are a lot. Most people who are successful
Are bad people.
started on their own, and many of them are immigrants, you know. But as far as the intergenerational wealth, as Robert well knows, more than once in my life, I risked everything basically on a couple ideas. And like when I opened the Fat Black Pussycat, I didn't even have the money I showed up with less money than I owed at the closing. And then we took other risks along the way. And yeah, it's true that I started with the Cellar, but you know, what can I do about that? Like, what do you want? I started the Cafe Y, I went to law school. I don't know, like why you would say a thing like that.
It was a joke, you fucking sensitive asshole.
Let him cry.
We're comedians.
No,
you fucking trash me.
It's not a joke because you've said that before.
That doesn't mean it's not a joke. You've said mean shit to me before, and I don't sit here and hold it against you. I know everything lies in the truth. Of course, I'm going to trash you. You just you sounded like Trump. You're fucking giving a comparison. And yes, of course, you've done way more with the Cellar than your father did. You made it bigger. You took more risks, and you actually love comics now.
No. You know how you could have made this really hilarious? If you were just like, look, I just took $1 million loan. And I made the business what it is.
You're such a fucking phony. What a really.
Hasan Minhaj a phony?
No, you do. You say the meanest shit and just scathe away with it. One person fucking says something to you and you cry. Shut up.
Hey, Hasan, does it make you a little bit happy when the whites are fighting like this?
Bro, I got Spike Lee tickets to this fight. It's hilarious. I'm courtside.
That's what they want, Noam. They want us against each other.
You know
anyway. By the way, you guys, speaking of like Corona babies, I got 2 babies upstairs, so I'm gonna bounce.
No.
Yeah.
This family time is serious, you guys. I'm getting texts from upstairs being like, "Why are you
all day, Hasan?"
Yeah. I'm getting texts from why are you yelling downstairs?
To get a word in edgewise.
This is why I need the Cellar to open again.
Before you go, Hasan, give us you must have some observations on all this that you've been, thinking about that you didn't get a chance to say. Tell us something.
I have more of a question. I'm going to leave you guys with a question. When we come out of this, do you think we'll be better for it or we'll be worse for it? Like, do you think it's going to get to a point where
comics?
Everybody, are we going to be society? Are we going to be people fucking elbowing each other at CVS for hand sanitizer? That one dude in Tennessee who hoarded all the Clorox wipes and was trying to flip it on Amazon. Are we going to be that? Right? Or are we going to be better for it? We're like, hey, we're all together, and you see those people dropping off homemade masks to like hospitals and bringing nurses food and stuff like that. What are we going to be?
We're going to be better. We're not going to go through this again.
I hope so.
South Korea has gone through this so many times that this time they were ahead of the game. They're actually doing really good as opposed to,
Wait. Hasan, wait. I don't think he meant that, Robert. I think for the most part we will be better, but if you're talking about like another virus coming back and attacking, don't you think when the Spanish flu was around, people said that, hey, this is not going to happen again?
I don't know.
I think we'll be better. I said it the other night. It's like a couple that they fight terribly and they break up. And then they get back together and it's all lovey-dovey again. And then 2 weeks later, they're right back where they were, fighting just exactly the same way. I think we'll be better for a little bit, and then we'll revert right back to who we were beforehand. You can't change people.
Thank you, Noam, for that uplifting message.
That's what I think. You don't agree?
Yeah.
No, man. All right, you guys. I love you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank
Bye.
you. Congratulations on the baby.
Thank
no.
you. Thank you.
No.
Yeah.
After 9/11, you don't think we were better people? We think we were the same.
For a short time.
For
Y'all
For
seen
sure.
y'all seen the original Watchmen?
Mm-mm.
No, Bobby, you ever watch Watchmen?
I saw the movie, but no, I don't know what that means.
The movie. Well, just the whole idea that humanity can, when we don't have a natural predator, we don't have some force scarier than us, then we fight each other. And when there's something out there that we can all be afraid of together, it brings us together.
I think
Like Independence Day.
Yeah.
I think that this is gonna be part of us for a long time, because the fact that this happened so suddenly and so quick, and that they shut down your life. I mean, your life was, as you worked how many years to get to where I'll personally, I worked a long time to get to the point where I just was. Theater tour of my own. I'm not on anybody else's show. It's my thing, doing headlining, making money, about to buy a house, about to do all these things. And I worked towards these goals, and then gone in one day. It's all gone. And there's nothing I can do about it because everybody's was gone. That's what everybody says. Well, it's not just you, it's everybody. Like, I'm supposed to take some type of, that's supposed to make me feel okay. Oh, well, everybody's fucked, so I feel good. So, and this is gonna fuck things up for a long time. It's gonna.
I think the comedy boom definitely took a hit. Like, I think that what we had going before is definitely going to take a big hit. And I think, like, Bobby and I were talking about this on my podcast the other day, that it's like the people that are really funny are going to stick around, and the people that are kind of like on the fringes and sort of just, that aren't really yeah, they're just not going to stick around, because it's.
I think it's going to come back. It's going to start building back up again. I mean.
But how is that possible when the clubs, like, besides the Cellar, how is that possible when the clubs themselves are closing down? The places that these people would get good, the clubs that these people would get good at are going to be.
Most of the places most comics, young comics work are like bars and restaurants, or like makeshift comedy clubs, not like real comedy clubs like the Cellar or whatever. So I believe that will build back up slowly but surely.
But every time something like this happens, Will, things come out of it. And sometimes they're good and sometimes they're bad. Like the writer's strike. What came out of that was reality TV, that the industry figured out, oh, we don't need to pay people $30,000 an episode, have pilot season, 3-camera shoot on a set with a live studio audience. We can just stick a camera in front of a bunch of snake hunters and get 14 million people watching every week and pay them $1,000 a show for 5 years.
And that's the worst thing to ever happen to television.
Yeah. I mean, that came out of some fucked up shit. And through this, I mean, this is come out of it. I don't know if this is good or bad now. I don't know if, I just did a show.
I think it's just another form of another thing you have to master. Same thing with YouTubers, TikTokers.
I just did a show that I would do at the Comedy Cellar with a whole crew of people that I got paid this much money for. And now I just did this same thing and I got paid this much.
Yep.
Same outcome, same place, went this, you know what I mean? So
y'all want to hate me?
Yeah.
I got booked yesterday for a college gig in April, live stream. It was when I was already booked for. They kicked the can down the road. I shouldn't say this on TV, but it's
You're not on TV.
Money. Way more so than before. I'm dreading it. It's like my 2 least favorite things. College shows are fine. I don't hate them, but I do hate live stream shows.
But
Don't worry about it. It's gonna get canceled.
Yeah, but you might do this. This might be a thing that comes out of it, where comics do live stream shows where
that was my fear.
Yeah.
That was my fear of, like, what if this goes well and then this college books live? I don't want to do this. I want to be live. I want to be there. That's why I don't want to do comedy if it's not for people in the room.
How are you going to
No,
say?
I wouldn't worry about that. People, the urge to, we talk about this, the urge to go out in groups is very primitive. I think it's permanent. It's never going to leave humans.
Irreplaceable.
Yeah.
If the clubs are closed, I go to the bars. If the bars are closed, I mean, it's like, and this my father used to say, like the biggest advantage you have in a club is that people want to go out, and that's never going to change. So they want to go out. And if the comedy club is good, they go to the comedy club. But if the comedy club's not good, they don't say, fuck it, we're staying home. Then they go to the music club. And if the music club, they go to the bar. If the bar is not good, they go to the restaurant. But then live streaming is never going to take the place of going.
So, but there's something about live is better than stream. I mean, look at like live recorded concerts. They never really took off. Live, like still being there is like the utmost feeling. Like
even VR. Remember they would try when those VR stuff, the virtual reality stuff. They were trying to get me to put the Comedy Cellar live in virtual reality.
That is,
yeah.
And I was like, nobody's going to do that. That's not the same.
It's going to. That will happen though. It absolutely will happen because
It will happen, but it will never replace the clubs.
The reason why it didn't happen is because when they asked you to do that, and only in the last year have they figured out how to make it this big and not tethered to a massive computer. Everybody who let me just finish.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Is that as these things get smaller and smaller and we start wearing wearables, the fact that you can put your glasses on and go to a Comedy Cellar show, sit in the front row and watch your favorite comedians in Ireland in your living room is going to be a viable source of income for a comedy club.
I don't know if it's about something. Let me tell you from the other point, and you know this, you're married. How many times does your wife or your girlfriend say, take me out somewhere? I want to go out somewhere. I want to get dressed. I want to put the whole point of your club, going to see comedy is part of it, but it's going out, going on a date, getting dressed, putting on makeup.
But going to the Comedy Cellar.
What's that?
Going to the Comedy Cellar, going to any comedy club, yes. Going to the Comedy Cellar in Manhattan, in the basement, sitting front row, watching Dave Attell, Colin Quinn, Judy, or any of these people here, and in your living room in Ireland for $10 is going to be fucking great. Because I've done the comedy shows in VR, and I'm telling you right now, it was fucking amazing. I'm sitting in the
talking
front
about
row.
whether it
Yes, but you don't know that you could throw your drink on.
No, I
That's
agree.
what makes it thrilling live.
It will replace it. I will never replace it.
Well, they wouldn't even
Read a lot of
they wouldn't
sci-fi. I don't
even
think
shoot.
that's-
They wouldn't even shoot a VR show unless they had an audience there. Like when I've done the VR shows, like performed in a VR show where they recorded or whatever.
Yeah.
They're not going to perform those VR shows unless they've got an audience, because they know that comedy it's a feedback loop, right? Like you can't do it unless you can see them and you can react to them.
I agree. It won't replace it, but it will be a part of our life.
Two things. I would be worried with VR, just like 3D glasses, that after a very short time, the thrill is gone, and it's kind of like it loses its wow factor. Number one. Number two, I think even if people do settle into it, it will cut into the YouTube and Netflix comedy viewing.
I say
not the live club viewing?
So if I said to you, Noam, if me and you are fans of the Giants, and I said, dude, I got 2 tickets to the Giants VR at my house. We're going to put on the glasses and just watch 50-yard line Super Bowl, me and you. And it's going to be like we're at the game.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
I would probably
if we're fans of that team and fans of football, we could sit there instead of watching it on TV.
Well, sports is different though. Sports is different. I think sports is like you can watch, like people enjoy sports from their living room. Stand-up comedy is a whole different feel. Like being there with a crowd and you feel the energy of the crowd, people are laughing. That's a whole different feel.
I don't know what
basketball or football or baseball.
It's a gazillion-dollar business though. Comedy Central, HBO, Netflix, they put specials out every day. If you go to YouTube, every kid watches stand-up by the millions on YouTube. You're saying, okay, instead of flat two-dimensional watching, I get to be in the club and watch somebody do it like I'm in the room?
Bobby, I think we're having 2 different arguments. You're saying, will VR replace YouTube? Yes. But will VR replace actually being there?
No, I don't think.
And
I
I
said,
don't even think it'll infringe on ticket sales.
but it's going to be a big part. I guarantee VR will be a big part of people's watching television, movies, and especially stand-up comedy is going to be big.
Okay.
in VR.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Kind of a change of topics. If you were anyone who was around for the 07, 08 crash and the club closures after that, and then what I assume was a comedy bubble pop after that, what was it like then?
No, we didn't have any crash after that. And we didn't get slower after that.
No?
No.
Did club
No, that
close
was-
on the road just slow down?
The road might have
The road was no, yeah, it actually the road slowed down a little bit because the thing with the Comedy Cellar, it's a destination place. You understand? Like it's a thing. You know, the clubs on the road are in malls, and when that died, people weren't spending that type of money and going out and seeing the shows anymore. So they were papering the rooms. So the price went down a little bit and the sales went down a little bit. But at the Comedy Cellar, I don't ever remember in
Actually, the Comedy
2000.
Cellar, I think the Comedy Cellar people made the reason why it did well during 08 and 09 is because people made smarter choices with their money. Because other clubs in New York City didn't do as well. I'm not gonna name them, but other comedy clubs was not doing as well as the Cellar. So
Right.
so people was like, okay, I got my last $10. I'm gonna go to the best club, go to the best gym or whatever. So they people just be smarter with their money when in 08, 09.
So
Yeah.
Will's right, and this is also a testament to how much people want to go out. So when people had less money, they didn't choose to stay home. They chose to go to cheaper entertainment, cheaper restaurants, but they still wanted to go out. So actually, the like the neighborhood bars and the Comedy Cellar, which is pretty inexpensive, we might have even gotten busier because a lot of people who were going out to shishi nights on the town didn't have that kind of money anymore, so they went to a lower priced evening.
But another thing about the Cellar, I think the reason why it did well afterwards is those same people who's spending big monies other places, when they got to the Cellar, like, oh wow, I'm getting way better entertainment and the food is really good. So why spend all this money elsewhere? And they get hooked.
Well, you already get booked enough at the Cellar. You don't need to butter his bread.
No,
You think like the
no,
like the
we got
bottle
November,
service,
right?
like the bottle service clubs would be the first place to really take a hit when in a financial crisis. This is a total bullshit, pretentious, spend money to show off. That's the
Yeah.
first thing that you cut back on.
You think people don't come back and
Those
going
are the
out
guys
maybe?
that were hit by that the most. Like those guys that fucking, down on Wall Street. They were the ones that were hit so hard during that
I'm
I
a big,
remember.
I'm a big fan of bottle service. I don't think it's pretentious at all.
Really?
Especially now
Jesus Christ.
with the coronavirus. Having your own section will probably work out better.
Would you say?
Yeah,
Will
bottle girls in
Sylvince-
hazmat suits.
Yeah, you have your bouncers just keeping people away from you.
Has anybody been tested? Has anybody been tested?
I
My
called
brother.
yesterday
No.
to try to get tested. In Cali, they're like there's a service that comes to your house, and Pete Lee's girlfriend is an RN, and I got her to refer me and Andy to get a test because Andy thinks he has it.
Well, I thought
Of
I
course
had
he
it
does.
18 times because I'm a hypochondriac.
Yeah.
I just think it sucks that you can't find out because I think I had it too. I think a lot of people think they had it. I just wish you could just go get a test and just, but even if you get tested, if you had it, they still don't know and you're over it and it's gone. You won't know that you had it. They have to do blood work for that. Correct?
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
developing now the antibodies to test for the antibodies. Yeah.
Yeah.
South Korea.
It's weird because if Andy has it, I definitely have it. And I don't have there's not a dent in my energy. I don't have a single symptom. So I know he doesn't have it. Like, I'm like, you're fine. He's just
Yeah.
a fucking hypochondriac in a pandemic.
But a lot of young people have it and they don't show any signs at all.
Even kids.
Yeah, but I'm not that young.
Oh, yes, you are.
No, I'm not. I just look like it because of Botox.
30s is young for this.
Do you really get
Here's the thing.
Botox?
Yeah, of course I do.
How
Every
old?
woman you know gets it, Bobby. Every
old?
woman that you know gets
Not black
I'm
girls.
getting it when I get back.
Black girls.
Yep.
Black girls don't get Botox?
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
they
sounds
do.
that sounds like a Monique's new special.
My fucking dermatologist's office waiting room would beg to differ with you, Will.
All
Well,
right.
you talking about girls you know. I'm saying girls I know. Not that I know a lot of girls like that, but
Nobody's gonna tell you that you wouldn't notice. Like you
How
wouldn't
old are you?
notice unless somebody fucked their shit
But
up.
you can't go get Botox now. You can't go and get that right now. You have to.
No,
I mean,
I can't.
so
I
all
just have
these.
to wait for my face to fall.
That's gonna be weird. Like a lot of girls can't.
I'm
go
so
get-
glad I got the ring before anything happened.
What is it?
I got the ring before anything happened.
Oh, your ring from your man. Oh, congratulations! She's getting married, guys. She got engaged.
congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
thanks.
When are you getting married, Will?
I don't know. I would like to.
To who?
My girlfriend.
You have a
gr-
girlfriend
you-
now?
Yeah.
What? So I never met your girlfriend.
Yeah, because you don't come around, Bobby.
What are you talking about? I see you all the time. I say hi to you at the Cellar all the time.
You say hi and you bounce. You don't talk to me.
What do you want me to do? Sit down and have a conversation? There's a virus out there, Will. I mean, what do you want? What do you want? You can tell me that you have a girlfriend. You can be like, this is my girlfriend.
Oh, I don't think she was around when you was around.
Oh, I'm happy. What do you mean? Does that mean? Like early at night?
No, like she don't come out like that.
Oh, well,
How long have
congratulations.
you guys been together?
We got back together in like August, September.
Okay. Oh, is this the girl that you were together last year?
Yeah.
Okay, that's great.
2 years ago. 2 years ago.
That's great. I didn't know you guys got back together. That's awesome. See, Bobby, this is how you do friendship.
You talking to me? You know who my friends are? Colin Quinn, Jim Norton, Rich Voss, and Keith Robinson, and Noam.
Not
Those
anymore.
are yeah. Fuck you, fucking baby. What a baby.
No, that group of comedians he just mentioned, that type of group would never be back at the Cellar, would they?
Why do you say? Because they're old?
No, not. I'm talking about that. Those people he just named, right? They like Patrice O'Neal, those type of comics, man. I feel like they were fearless. They didn't give a damn. They didn't care about no cancel culture. They was like, whatever, dude.
Yeah, that's a particular generation. They don't make them like that anymore, kind of. Yeah, you're right.
But we still don't. Keith, me, Norton, we don't give a shit.
Yeah, but the thing is, you go to the Cellar now. You go to the club now, when comics get offended by little things, like you can't say nothing, so now you just walk away.
Who gets offended? We tell them to go fuck themselves.
Yeah, you do, but other comics, when you guys are not there as much. First of all, Keith is there because Keith be limping in there.
Oh,
Yeah, but Keith's the biggest troublemaker in the world when I show up. He immediately gets things going. He immediately trashes people.
Yeah, no. You guys have not changed. That's not the point. I'm talking about when you guys are not there like that, is not the same like it used to be. It used to be so much fun just having you guys there. Are you masturbating, Robert?
No, I found my kid put fucking slime in my pocket, and I've
He
been
was
spending
masturbating.
45 minutes trying to get this out of
This
my
is
pocket.
you. This
When
is you.
when I masturbate, it's not like that, Will. There's not that
Go
much
ahead.
movement. It's more like this. Yeah, me when I'm dead and I masturbate, it's the same face.
Will, when you say it's not like that anymore, is that the comic's fault or the audience's fault?
Both.
I think it's a
Right.
combination. I think like comics, they either afraid of being canceled or they don't like to be bagged on. Look, back in the days when you walk into the Olive Tree and to the comics corner,
Yeah.
I watch comics make a U-turn. They'll look from the door, they'll be like, and they're like, and they go back outside because they don't want to face the rat. Some comics don't take that heat.
You know, you're right. I mean, even the comedy club owners can't take shit anymore. Ugh, fucking asshole you are.
Wait, who are you talking about?
What do you think? I'm talking about the shrug-shouldered, fucking hurt-feeling asshole right there. That guy. You said that before. Shut up.
I found this.
What is that?
It's a Hillary Clinton nutcracker.
Well,
I don't know where it came from.
I think it's still there. I just think that the generation of comics that came up now are TV, are very, like when we came up, being a rock star like that wasn't really an option. It wasn't even a thought. It was get in at the Comedy Cellar, get in at clubs and do stand up, but make each other laugh was a big part.
Yeah.
After the show.
Well, I don't think that's gone completely in like younger generations at all. I think sometimes it is like I would talk coming up about how it was so important to me that I wanted to impress other comics, and people would be like, why do you want to impress other comics? It's not about that. And I would be like, well, I think it is. But, and you know, it's like you end up with two very different types of comedy is all it is. That's what I think. I think it's not.
I think you're right, because I know you like to bust balls, Will. I mean, all the people that I know from the Cellar, for the majority, like the bust balls. Even the new guys. I was there last week, and they had a couple of the young bucks come in, and we was immediately smashing them.
Yeah.
On what was happening.
Yeah.
And they were a little shell shocked, a little like, but I was too when I first got there. When Voss went, how long you been in New York? 3 months. Go get me a cup of coffee, two sugars and cream. It was like, what? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yamanika, I remember when I met Yamanika and somebody introduced us to together, and Yamanika threw her coat at me and she goes, take that inside.
Yeah, I don't think that's ever going to die. And not impressing another comic, but making another comic laugh, I think is an essential thing to being a stand-up comedian. There's nothing better when you can make a table of comics, not the table, any fucking table of comics anywhere, crack up at something you say. So
yeah,
I don't think that
I've ever had at the Cellar. We're at the comics table, not on stage.
Oh, fuck yeah. And you know, and there's comics that I don't mess with, even back when the table was the table. There was comics that I didn't fuck with DC Benny like that.
Why not?
Because he's not that guy. It's just not him. I didn't fuck with Pete Corelli like that. I had friends that I didn't do that to because that wasn't what they did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yo, Robert, we should get Corelli on this. We haven't heard from him in a long time.
Yeah, we'll get Liz on it. We got to wrap it up right now. But anyways, yeah, what's up, buddy? Go ahead, Matthew.
There's one thing I wanted to comment on. You saying new comics not being. I think there's been a very recent, very hard turn, and that every comic of my generation realized that playing it by the rules and getting on TV and getting a sitcom is not going to happen anymore. If you want a fan base, you have to go find your own. So there's so much less motivation to keep it clean and keep it safe. So much more motivation to go really dirty, really hard, and put it on Instagram and make your own fans.
But it happened the same way in the late 80s and 90s. It was 7 minutes of clean material. Get on Evening at the Improv, get on The Tonight Show, get on late. And so I remember comics when I was coming up with like, you got to be clean. You got to be clean. You got to get on Evening at the Improv. You got to get on Caroline's Comedy, and you have to be clean. And what happened was they saturated that and it died. And the comics that went and just found their voice or found their fan base when they couldn't get on TV were the ones that survived and moved on. And that's the same thing that's happening now, is that there's so much saturation of clean, right down the middle, non-offensive comedy that the other ones are starting to stand out now. So,
yeah,
you know, so I think you're right. I think it happens a lot. What's the word for that, Noam?
Pendulum?
No?
I don't know.
Cyclical? Is that it? No? I thought you'd have a nice big word for us right at the end. We can
no.
To be honest, I tuned out.
Well, Noam will be doing this by himself because I'm done. I can't take his fucking sulking. So
can't take a joke now.
Noam is going to be fucking hosting this Monday through fucking Saturday.
You know why you guys are professionals and I'm not? Because if I just kept a straight face after that, I'd be 10 times, the comedian. Like I had to break into a laugh, but if I just kept a straight face, that would have been gangster. I couldn't do it though.
No, that would have been psychotic. That was funny that you actually said something funny and laughed. Fucking crazy person. All right, so let's wrap this up. It's been over an hour. Matthew, what do you got, buddy?
I got a college gig coming up. You can check it out online.
Oh boy, I hope it happens. You know, for the sake that you can make that money. I have a private event for Bloomberg, one of Bloomberg's friends at some point, and I know it's going to get canceled in July. It's a big money private event, and I hope it doesn't get canceled because I'll fucking go and get Corona for this much money.
At least they won't be asking for a refund.
See? You should have kept now that one. You should have kept the face.
I just think like you're too dirty for Bloomberg's friends, aren't you?
No, it's a guy's night.
Okay.
Oh, so you're gonna be doing a lot of Me Too jokes.
No, I'm gonna do a lot of YouTube jokes. I'm joking. All right, let's not. All right, whatever. No. Anyways, what do you got, Rosebud? Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you so much. I have what?
Didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, next time Rosebud's on, we'll let her talk more. Go ahead, Rosebud.
Yeah, you guys are still interrupting me. This is insane. You keep yelling at each other to interrupt me. You keep talking over me while you're doing it. All right? I'm putting my fucking foot down. You're both psychotic. And listen to my podcast. It's called Devil's Advocate. It's on All Things Comedy. And then I have another podcast called Find Your Beach with me and my Beyonce, Andy Haynes. And that's every day on iTunes and Spotify.
All right. Great. And Wil Sylvince, what do you got besides a new girlfriend?
I'll just be home watching Forensic Files Part 2. That's about it for me.
That's all you got.
So I may start a podcast or something. I don't know.
Talk to me. Will you talk to me before you do it?
Yeah.
How about you?
Will, come on my podcast.
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right. No.
No homeschooling, doing subtraction flashcards.
All right. That's great. This is my last appearance on this. So guys, thank you so much.
Who's the baby now?
Go to patreon.com/Robert Kelly. If you want to see me do this in a funnier way with people who aren't so sensitive. We can say what we want and be free like America should be during this virus. You guys know, seriously, thanks for tuning in. Like I said before, comics, look out for the other Zoom page that Noam's putting up where we can go in and just hang out and like we were talking about, make each other laugh and say hi and let each other know what's going on. And if not, we'll see you Monday night right here at Comedy Cellar Nightly on YouTube. See you next week.
Everybody.
Mike, end it.
Bye.